Imagine a quiet European neighborhood, clean streets, children riding bicycles, parents believing their town is safe. But hidden beneath one ordinary house, police would later discover a secret dungeon, a place where children had been kept in silence for months. What shocked the world even more was not just the crimes, but the disturbing question that followed. How could the police have missed the warning signs so many times? Was this simply the story of one criminal, or something much darker hiding inside the system? This is the mystery of the Dutroux affair, one of the most disturbing criminal cases in European history. In the early 1990s, Marc Dutroux appeared to live a fairly ordinary life in Belgium. He worked small jobs, moved houses frequently, and lived with his wife and children. But behind that ordinary image was a long criminal record. Years earlier, he had already been arrested for kidnapping and assaulting young girls. He was sentenced to prison, yet somehow, he was released years earlier than expected. Authorities believed he had been rehabilitated. But after his release, something chilling began to happen. Young girls across Belgium started disappearing. At first, each case looked unrelated, different towns, different circumstances. But families began to notice a terrifying pattern. Children were vanishing without a trace. In 1995, two young girls, Julie and Melissa, disappeared while playing outside. There were no witnesses, no clear clues. Their parents searched desperately, posting flyers everywhere. The police investigated, but progress was painfully slow. Then another disappearance happened, and then another. Belgium was entering a nightmare. Parents became afraid to let their children walk to school alone. Communities organized search parties, but what no one realized was that the missing children were not far away. Some of them were being held in hidden rooms built beneath a house. Rooms carefully designed, so no sound could escape. The man responsible had been living among them the entire time. The most disturbing part of the story is this. Police had actually visited one of Dutroux's houses earlier during the investigation. They searched the property, but they failed to discover the hidden dungeon. Neighbors later said they had heard strange noises. Even one officer reported hearing faint sounds during a search, but nothing was done. Months passed, and during those months, victims remained trapped. Some investigators would later admit that critical mistakes were made. Poor communication between departments, lost reports, ignored tips. These failures would later ignite massive anger across Belgium. People began asking a terrifying question. Was this incompetence or something worse? In 1996, everything changed. Police finally arrested Marc Dutroux after connecting him to stolen vehicles. During questioning, investigators searched one of his properties again. This time, they discovered something horrifying. Hidden beneath the house was a concealed underground cell. Inside, two young girls were found alive. They'd been held there in darkness for weeks. The discovery shocked the entire country, but the investigation soon uncovered even more tragic news. Other victims had not survived. The realization hit Belgium like an earthquake. Parents, citizens, and journalists demanded answers. How could this have gone on for so long? Public trust in the justice system collapsed. Many people believed the authorities had failed the victims. Some even suspected powerful figures might have protected Dutroux. Although these theories were never proven, they spread rapidly across the country. In 1996, Belgium witnessed one of the largest protests in its history. Over 300,000 people marched silently through Brussels. It became known as the White March. People dressed in white to honor the victims. Parents held photographs of their missing children. The march was not about politics. It was about grief and anger. Citizens were demanding justice, and they were demanding a system that would never allow such failures again. Years later, the trial finally began. It became one of the most closely watched trials in Europe. Witness testimonies revealed disturbing details about the crimes. The courtroom often fell silent as families listened to the evidence. In 2004, Marc Dutroux was found guilty. He received a life sentence, but even after the verdict, many people felt the case still left unanswered questions. How did the system fail so badly? Could the victims have been saved earlier? Those questions still haunt Belgium today. The Dutroux affair was not just the story of a criminal. It exposed deep flaws in the justice system. Police reforms were later introduced across Belgium. But the tragedy left a permanent scar on the country. Today, the case remains a chilling reminder that evil can hide behind ordinary faces. And that, sometimes, the greatest danger is not just the criminal, but the failures that allow them to continue. Because in this case, the warnings were there, the clues were there, but no one connected them in time.